So today we're going to be talking about Esther and the end of the Old Testament, right? How this occurs. So, in chapter 1, we see a king's extravagant feast and a queen Vashti's defiance. This chapter introduces a king Ahasuerus of Persia who throws a lavish banquet lasting 180 days, followed by additional 7 days for his officials and subjects in Susa, the capital city. On the seventh day, the extended celebration, the king commands the Queen Vashti to appear before the guests to showcase her beauty. However, Queen Vashti defiantly refuses the king's order, creating a significant dilemma for Ahasuerus and raising questions about her motivations and the power dynamics within the royal court. Later, we see a new queen is chosen. Esther enters the picture. Following Vashti's refusal, advisors suggest Ahasuerus replace her in selecting a new queen through the beauty contest. Young women throughout the kingdom are brought to the palace, and Esther, a beautiful young Jewish orphan raised by her cousin Mordecai, is among them. Esther finds favor with the king and is ultimately chosen as a new queen, though she keeps her Jewish identity hidden under Mordecai's advice. And this is the chapter that marks the beginning of Esther's journey and introduces the central characters whose actions will determine the future of the Jewish people. So in chapter 3, we see Haman's arrogance and Mordecai's refusal to bow. So Haman, a high official of the king's court, is given immense power and authority by Ahasuerus. Everyone except Mordecai bows down to a human, but Mordecai refuses, citing his faith and his commandments to only bowing to God. Haman, enraged by Mordecai's defiance, hatches a plan not only to punish Mordecai, but also to exterminate all Jews in the Persian Empire. He convinces the king to issue a decree authorizing the destruction of Jews on a specific future day. Then later on, in chapter 4, Mordecai is aware of Haman's evil plot, informs Esther of the impending danger facing the Jewish people. He pleads with her to intervene and uses her influence with the king to save them. Initially hesitant due to the risk involved, Esther eventually agrees to act on Mordecai's urging, demonstrating her to courage and willingness to risk her life for people. And in chapter 5, we see Esther's indigenous plan inviting the kings to 2 banquets. Esther devises a plan to expose Haman's evil scheme and plead for mercy for her people. She invites the king to 2 special banquets, one with only 2 of them present, and another the following day where Haman would also be present. The strategic approach allows Esther to control the narrative and create opportunities to influence the king's decision. And in chapter 6, we see Haman's downfall and Mordecai's rise. During the first private banquet, Esther reveals her identity as a Jew and exposes Haman's plot to eliminate the Jewish people. Witnessing Haman's arrogance and learning of his murderous intentions towards Esther herself, the king flies to a rage and orders Haman's immediate execution. Ironically, Haman is hanged on the same gallows he had prepared for Mordecai. This was a dramatic turn of events, which leads to Mordecai's being given Haman's position and authority, marking a significant shift in the power dynamics and offering hope for the Jewish people. In chapter 7, we see the king's edict is revoked and the Jews are saved. At the second banquet, Esther pleads to the king to revoke the decree authorizing the destruction of the Jews. Recognizing the injustice of the original decree and understands Esther's genuine heart and love for her people, the king issues a new decree allowing Jews to defend themselves and fight back against anyone who attempts to harm them. This is a pivotal moment that demonstrates the king's ability to recognize his mistakes and his willingness to act justly, ultimately saving the Jews from annihilation. In chapter 8, we see the Jews defend themselves and celebrate their victory. So with a new decree in hand, the Jews throughout the Persian Empire are empowered to defend themselves on the designated day of destruction. They stand their ground and prevail against their attackers. This day becomes the day of celebration for Jewish people, commemorating their deliverance from genocide. And in chapter 9, we see the days of feasting and celebration. The following 2 days are dedicated to continued celebration and feasting, during which the Jews continue to defend themselves and enjoy their newfound freedom. And in chapter 10, we see the king's further decrees and concluding remarks. This concluding the chapter briefly mentions an additional decrees by King Ahasuerus. These decrees likely aim to further solidify the new status quo and ensures the safety and security of the Jewish population within the Persian Empire. Finally, the book concludes by emphasizing the importance of recording these historical events, highlighting their significance for future generation, and also continued prosperity and influence of Mordecai, serving as a testament to his crucial role in the events that had unfolded. That being said, you guys, I hope that this gives you enlightenment about the Book of Esther. Thank you so much for watching. Stay blessed, never stressed, with much peace, much power, much love, much light, and of course, much joy. See you guys next time.